It's like, oh, is it convenient now for you to have kids? It was loving. It wasn't like harsh. It didn't have to be harsh. I knew exactly what the Lord meant. Do you want them? Why do you ask me for them? Do you want them? Do you want them? Is this the right time for you? You want kids? Yeah, I'd like to have some kids. And I wrote this song. Is there room in your womb, young woman? Is there room in your womb for a child? I've seen the prophecies being fulfilled, and I've heard the song of the angels. God sending peace and goodwill. Is there room? Is there room for a child? Is there room in your inn, young man? Is there room in your inn for a child? I have seen the prophecies being fulfilled, and I've heard the song of the angels. God sending peace and goodwill. Is there room? Is there room for a child? How long will we push our children away? Is there room in our world for a new word today? A holy child from God's right hand is a holy word from God to man. But is there room? Is there room for a child? And so my wife and I sang that song and we began to pray. There is room for a child. A few weeks later she was at this meeting, kind of like a meeting like this, university, and people were praying for others, and my wife went up for prayer and they prayed for my wife, and she ended up laying on the floor. She felt this cold hand come on her belly, and she looked up because she knew that the etiquette of the gathering, she had been at all the leadership meetings, and she knew that the etiquette of the gathering was no men were to be touching women, you know. Certainly nobody touching somebody's belly. And she looked up because she thought it was weird. She felt that a man's hand, I don't know how you know that it's a man's hand, but she felt a man's hand on her belly. It was cold. When she looked up, there was nobody there. And then all of a sudden she just said, oh. She just smiled and leaned her head back, and that hand became like fire hot. And she went back to the doctor, and the doctor, she just knew she was healed. She went back to the doctor. They did all their pictures and examinations, and there was no disease. It was all gone. It's completely healed. And so we just kept having kids. So our first child's name is Samuel, of course. And I say that to say that spirit and that root of abortion, it's like deep in us. We really want to be a prophetic people, but Jesus is too much for us. Like, remember what the spirit of Molech is, for instance? Sacrifice your children to preserve your own life. Why do you think? That's one of the things that Catholics have so strong, you know what I mean? I don't get up an abortion I don't get up in gatherings and people always want me, because of my testimony, to speak about abortion. I will never get up and speak about abortion unless they allow me to speak about the spirit of Molech. Well, neocons, Republican Christians don't want you to speak about Molech because Molech speaks to the whole issue. And we don't want to fess up to the fact that we kill that which inconveniences us. I mean, even in our culture, we don't even think about it, but it's like we don't get why in Tiananmen Square, why the whole nation cheered when the government killed all those people. We don't get it. Well, because their chief ideal, see, is harmony. We do the same thing for freedom. Somebody starts taking away our freedom, kill them. Kill them. Kill all of our enemies. See, Larry Norman, I don't like his theology that much, honestly, but I love him because he just said things. Even in all of his bad, wherever that guy is, even when he was wrong, he said it. Just say it. Like, he's an unidentified flying object. It's like the craziest song I've ever heard. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I agree with it, but you gotta love it. I listen to it all the time. I don't even agree with the theology, and I dig it. I sing it all the time with my kids. He's a UFO! I love that line. When they pick up the morning paper. That is so funny to me. Anyway, but he has it right. I remember singing this in Texas. I didn't even know I was in this place in Texas. I'm talking about the prophetic word. We don't think that the blood's going to come. Prophetic. We long for the prophetic. We want to speak against the spirit of abortion, and yet we're willing to sacrifice our children to kill all our enemies. And we don't even talk about that, and we wonder why there's no power on our lips when we pray before God, a holy God that's not like us, that hasn't, thank God that he hasn't been taken over by the Republican parties, that he isn't fooled by Rush Limbaugh.
Man.
There's no fooling. First message that Barack Obama gave, he already was locking in to the ideologies of America. Because God's kingdom isn't like us. It's not about kings, it's not about presidents, and no man is going to save us. It's not about it. I think Barack Obama's an awesome man. I don't think he's a Muslim. I said that years ago. I just about got killed by Christians. Anyway, it's fun, it's just fun. Somebody came up to me the other day, just because of stuff I say like this, people said, if you keep bringing up issues, you're going to fall. I said, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh. So funny. Oh, you're going to fall. I'd rather fall. In vulnerability before a holy God, because God knows this. I've never told people to take up my mind and my ideology, because I'm just a man. You know why it's important not to do that? Because You start bringing your ideology in your mind and you start putting it on God and then saying,